And we are live. What's up, guys? And welcome to the channel. We're here with Jessica Blakely, interviewing about Buyer Beware. Welcome to the stream, Jessica.
Hello.
Again, it's like we're talking about the Buyer Beware. If you've been watching the channel anytime recently, you know pretty much about it. First we're gonna start off, easy. Like, what got you into acting?
What got me into acting? Honestly, I acted from a really young age. Honestly, I used to go to church when I was little, and I would always do like the church plays and stuff. So that's kind of how I got into it originally. And then from there, since I liked it, I would do kind of like the community theater plays and stuff like that as a kid. So that's how I got into it. I was like a theater girl, you know?
What kind of theater productions were you a part of?
Oh man. Like, I think my first one was Wizard of Oz, and I was a munchkin.
Oh.
And you know that part in the song where it's like, you will be a bus, be a bus, be a bus in the hall of fame. I said one of them. It was like, you will be a bus, and that's all I said. And that was my shining moment, you know?
As a kid, I was not doing any of that. I was like, nope. Like, even like when we were in like music and we would have to do stuff like that, like I would just like mouth the words and pretend I was doing it. I was like, nope. I would just try to hide in the back. I don't know what I'm doing.
You're like, what's the minimum I could do?
Like, I'm just here. Like, I was so shy. I literally couldn't do anything. I couldn't even order food until like high school when I joined until I joined FFA, and like they started teaching me how to do like public speaking and everything like that. And it was just like, he was just like, dude, just stop caring about what the hell people think. Just do it.
Yeah, and honestly, and like that kind of surprised me because the first time we had like a Zoom meeting kind of about the project to like touch base about it, my initial reaction was like, you're very like outgoing, well spoken, like that was like you're very friendly, you know what I mean? So that's interesting that you were like shy when you were a kid. And honestly, theater tends to like help people who are shy and stuff like that. So I think that's why I never ended up being like someone who was necessarily soft spoken, is because I was always in theater, which is just like a little over the top.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what I try to tell people about like FFA, because again, it's like even me, like when I first joined, I didn't know. Again, it's Future Farmers of America, and I'm the farthest away from a farmer. I'm the absolute I destroyed a pair of Jordans because I went into the barn and stepped in, just destroyed them. And they're like, "Why would you wear Jordans in the barn?" I was like, "I didn't know." I was like, "I didn't know." This is not where I'm. Like, I'm from Tunica, Mississippi, like where the casinos are. I'm like, I'm not from. But like my first year, I did dairy judging, and like a part of dairy, and then I did forestry. But dairy judging, you have to place them and then tell reasons. And I was like, oh, I don't. So I got to talk in front of everybody. And he was just like, just do it. Just don't think about it. Just do it. And then that was kind of how like I brought it into. That's why I love life stuff, because it's just do it. Like, just don't think about,
like, stream of conscience. Like, don't think about it. Just like, just go.
That's what I was like. Y'all are probably going to carry me throughout the movie, because like when it comes to like remembering lines and stuff, that's when I get nervous.
And honestly, that's why when you were talking to me about you have a script, you have what wants to be said, but I love that when we were talking about the project, you encourage also like giving our own words to the same meaning that you want to convey, you know? But like, if we wouldn't say it a certain way, to kind of change it the way that we would, because it's like, I just feel like that's better for the actors. I think it's better for the storytelling too, you know?
Yeah. So, what are you working on right now?
Right now, I'm about to film something. I don't think there's a name for it yet, but it's kind of like, it's more of an artistic, like short film, of kind of like a dream sequence. I don't have like a whole lot of details on it yet since we're about to film, but I'm excited for that because I've never done something.
You can't give away too much. You can't give away too
much. It's not like, I don't have any lines. It's more so just like visual.
Don't do a Tom Holland, okay? Don't don't do a Tom Holland and tell everything and be like, well, what?
Listen, nothing's happening this week. I'm not filming anything. But then what else am I working on? I'm doing this like Sparrow. It's a YouTube web series
Okay.
called Sparrow. And that's what I'm working on now. I think the first episode, yeah, the first episode came out in two separate parts, and then now we're working on the second episode. So it's kind of like um a slower thing. Like there's quick turnaround, but we continuously film. And
Okay.
it's real cool 'cause we work with everybody's schedule. The whole cast is amazing. So is the crew. And the guy directing it is Bryce Gilman. He created kind of like this superhero universe. He wrote it, he's directing it, he does all the edits and everything. So yeah, it's real fun to be a part of.
Oh, that's really cool. Like I saw, what was it? What was the one that was like? It was the short film. It was you, Brynn, and and Quinn, and it was in the school.
Yeah,
It was like detention, I think.
It was called Detention. That was directed by Manga. I think he has a YouTube channel. I think if you look up like Manga Detention, it shows up. But that was cool. That was something Brynn brought me in on. She had worked with Manga before. And he's just trying to do different scenes and get better and start writing stuff and just getting it up there. You know what I mean? Because I feel like even if you have stuff written, it's like it's hard to find actors and then direct it all yourself. Like it's a lot of work, So that was real fun. It filmed in the city. Actually, it filmed those escape rooms?
Actually,
Where
I've been wanting to do one because we have a few of them in Memphis. I really want to try it.
Okay, no, you should do one.
It's just I really want to.
Because they're real fun.
Well, when I found out about it, the pandemic hit, and I was like, well, damn, okay, well, guess not.
Yeah. They all closed down and stuff. Yeah, that's true. But you should do one because they're real fun, especially like they're good for dates, number one, and then number two, even for groups, it's real fun to like get a group dynamic going
cool
there.
When y'all come to Memphis to do that,
I was actually thinking that. Yeah, I feel like it'd be fun for the cast to do like once we're all together, anyways, And then it filmed in one of those, and it was a school room themed escape room. So that room wasn't like an actual classroom; it was like an escape room classroom, which is cool.
Y'all did like an actual set. I didn't. That's actually really
no.
That's actually a really cool. That's a really cool thing to do because it's. Of course, you're not going to be able to use an actual schoolroom because class and everything. Plus, I don't know the legality of all that.
Right, and it's like, do you pay for it? Do you go afterwards? It's a whole thing. Yeah. So honestly, I thought that was smart because I'm like, I would have never even thought of that.
Yeah, me either. That's actually that's really cool. Like, I like the idea. That's a really creative way of doing because of course, especially if they're not using it. Again, it's a business, so they want to make money anyway.
Exactly.
And they already have it planned out. They're like, you're gonna have it for this amount of time, anyways. So yeah, that's actually because I was watching. I was like, this dude looks like he's about to beat all of them. Like, the person that was like over the detention, I was like, I'm like,
he was not messing around.
He looks like he's about to kill all of you. Like just because it's like
the twist, like
because it was one of those things like not a lot is like it's not like a big story or anything. It was just. It just seemed like y'all were trying to do whatever y'all could to annoy the hell out of the dude. It's just like, what the hell?
It's one of those like micro stories where it's almost like the looks in between and like just the dynamics of friends if they were in detention, like not like a huge storyline, but it's like what happens in the small moments,
It was kind of like what you like. It seemed like something like from the Breakfast Club or something like that. It was very similar to like the Breakfast Club. There's like. This dude's about to kill them all. Like this dude's about to just kill them all.
It's true.
By the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, what the series that she was talking about and the detention, and all whatever else worked. Just send me the links and I'll put it in the description.
Cool. Yeah.
Like what made you the most excited about this project?
The most excited.
Yeah.
I liked that it filmed actually in a different state. I've never traveled for film work before. I thought that was really cool. That we were at least doing like filming on our own, right?
Yeah.
And then like at some point we were going there, I just think that's cool and kind of exciting as an actor to be like, oh, I'm traveling for work. Like that's kind of cool, It's like that's exciting. And then I mean Brynn, the fact that Brynn recommended it to me too. That's always a sign of a good project because I love Brynn. We go way back. She's she's a professional actress out here, so I'm like anything that she's doing, I'm into, like.
That's why I'm glad that we got Quinn, because again, it's like I told y'all, I'm not an actor. Like I do YouTube, Twitch, like again, I've done like talking, like public speaking and stuff like that, but it's not exactly the same. So I'm like, at least I have somebody that can carry me. Just like just
Like,
make it good. Like okay, like or at least give me some advice to make it better.
Yeah, and both Quinn and Brynn they're real talented. And honestly, it's good to have them together too, because it's like if they worked together before, they just like they have a great like working relationship, Yeah. And he's a funny dude. He's real funny.
Yeah, because like at first he was going to be the jock type, and like because again that's the one role we were trying to find, and we were talking. He was like, you know what, that's like I've been typecasted as that. He was like, is there any way I can be the funny guy? I was like, to be honest, for everybody, I kind of want, again, if this is easier for you and that's your personality, that's best for you because you don't have to do as much acting.
Yeah.
So like when he said, okay, I'm actually more comfortable being the smart ass and the funny guy, I'm like, okay, then perfect. That's all said. Like, that's it. Like, and then I'll find someone else. And that's when we found Bruno, which I don't think any of y'all met.
I don't think so yet, because we haven't had any rehearsals all together,
But he's from I think Argentina. He's from Argentina.
No way.
Yeah. A really cool guy, but he understands that again there has to be. He's not exactly a bad guy because again you've read the script. It's not 100%. He's not a complete dick, but
he just has moments, and he's kind of a tool. But I feel like he's just someone who like hasn't grown yet as a character. So
again, he Bruno. He understands that it needs to, because again, I forgot who said it, but like they always said, like, because again I'm a huge wrestling fan. Everybody says like for there to be a really good guy, you have to have a bad guy to balance them out. Like it's because again
you have to have that contrast. Otherwise, it doesn't hit home, and it's not as fun to watch as ever. I find like,
and we can't have villains throughout the whole. So like that's with this movie, I'm trying to make the dynamic with the crew just as important than the actual horror and the actual like conflict. I want there to be some, again, because again, like I told everybody, I'm a huge fan of OC and One Tree Hill. And I always tell people, whenever you watch OC or One Tree Hill, you always find a character that you can relate to. Like even with Bruno's character, again, he's not exactly he's one of those people, like he's a really good friend, he's an awesome person, but in a relationship, he's just not mature enough to be in that relationship. And
that's like real life too. I mean, I feel like that's just good. So it's cool to tell those stories where it's like, this is a cool person. Like everybody's been friends with that person where you're like, wow, this person's so cool. However, not the best in a relationship.
You just shouldn't be in a relationship. Like it just isn't. Like and then and that's some real life stuff. Like where it's just like sometimes you're just not mature enough to handle a relationship and be able to just be monogamous. Some people just want to have fun, and there's nothing really wrong with that. Like, if you just want to have fun, that's cool. Like, but just be honest with the other person. Yeah. That's what the dude basically does in the movie, where he's just he doesn't comprehend. But as we were talking about before we went on the call, again, we don't have any dates set 100%, but the premiere will be I talked to them, and they said once we get the deposit down, we'll start talking about dates. But we will be premiering at the Orpheum in Memphis. It is, again, like I grew up, going to see theater shows like The Wizard of Oz and Annie at the Orpheum, and again, it's just one of those things. Again, like in Memphis, we have some staples in arenas because we have the FedEx Forum, the Pyramid, which the Pyramid is now Bass Pro, which is really stupid, but that's another story for another video.
What?
And then we had the Coliseum, which is down. which again, I've always been so mad that I never was able to go to the Coliseum, like because do you know somebody Andy Kaufman? Have you ever seen the movie Man on the Moon with Jim Carrey?
No.
Oh, I highly recommend it. But the Coliseum is where Memphis Wrestling was held. You know, it was a huge, like, it was a beautiful arena. Like Memphis was that's what Memphis was known for the longest. But now we have the FedEx Forum because, you know, FedEx is a hell of a lot bigger of a brand and it brings in a lot more money, and that's where the Grizzlies play and the Tigers, you know, like, yeah. But it used to be, we had the Pyramid, we had the FedEx Forum, and then the Coliseum. The Coliseum was where a lot of singers played, and the sports were at the FedEx Forum or at the Pyramid. But now it's just the FedEx Forum, and then the Orpheum was where stage shows were. You know, again, which I think there's an Orpheum in Chicago. I think there's one in St. Louis. I believe there's one in Los Angeles, and I think there's one in New York. But it's bougie. I'm gonna be honest. It's fancy. Like it's what you would think of,
like old town, like fancy theater feel.
They were very known for, especially back in the day, for vaudevillain type plays and stuff like that. But they're going to actually help us out with actually making it into almost a theater, like a movie theater. Because again,
that's awesome.
In Memphis, is very we don't have. It's not like, you know, like Chicago or New York where there's smaller theaters.
That's true. Yeah, that's one thing I didn't think about because I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's like really grand and beautiful. But yeah, in Chicago, there's a bunch of storefront theaters, smaller theaters.
We only have Malco, and Malco you have to have a distributing company and like I was telling you, I was like, yes, it would be kind of cool to, you know, have a distributing company and, you know, put it on net, but when you have a distributing company and everything, you also lose freedom, you know, creative freedom, because you have to make them happy too. So like with this,
anytime you
can go ahead.
Oh yeah, anytime like you bring another like group or like person in, it's like it's not like selling your company or something, but it's like bringing in another opinion. That's true. Like, oh, this person kind of owns 30% in a way.
Yeah, you know, and then like just like with like when like Netflix buys the rights to it, they're giving you a lump sum, but they make the profits.
Right, and I'm sure they like edit certain things too. Like I'm sure they would have like I think that would be too.
With this again, I don't want somebody like in our ear like, oh, you have to do this and this, and I'm like, or don't do this or don't do, like it. I'd rather have the at least for the first film, just because this is trying. It's almost like I told everybody, this is like a love story to YouTube and Twitch. It's gonna be filmed like a YouTube video, like a Twitch stream. Because like even right now we're streaming this on Twitch, like, and it's going to go on YouTube. Because it adds a little realism, because of course I've always like I told you before, it's always annoyed me with found footage where it's like, how would you, like, even in Unfriended, like if you really think about it, how would anybody get that footage from somebody's FaceTime? Why would they even be filming it? That's the real question. Why would they even be filming their FaceTime call?
Like people use that as like a way to show footage, but it's like there's that in and of itself is like a story hole, because it's like, where did that even come from?
Like it's really interesting and it's really like creative, especially with pandemic and all this stuff. But when you're talking like an actual feature film, like a horror movie, I understand if it's like a documentary. Like what's that they were talking about the pandemic and everything. Okay, that makes sense to be using Zoom and stuff like that. Like it makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Because it's a documentary, like it's.
You're clearly like grabbing it from. Like, you're like
that's the whole point. But when you're trying to, because the thing about horror is you're trying to like take people away and make them believe. Because again, we all know it's a horror movie. We all know it's movie magic. But you have to disband that belief. So once you start realizing, oh, that's actually fake, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Well, then you start kind of like drawing back, and it's not as scary. The whole point is to try to make it as realistic as possible,
So you can't suspend your disbelief and be stupid.
Because again, it's like you're like, because I'm one of those people. People hate watching horror movies with me because I'm one of those people. Like, wait a second, why would they? No,
like,
why
how
would
do you get up behind it?
Why would you do that? Like, why would you ever do that? Like, just
like when you were talking to me like about the music too, where they like put on the scary music like right before it happens.
It's unnecessary. Like I've always, and again, that's one of those things like where that's the whole point of making movies, at least for me. Like where it's like you see something that, again, like Paranormal Activity. I love Paranormal Activity, the first one, but there were certain things about it where I was like, ooh, if you have done it this way, if you have just done it, why would, or Insidious. Insidious had a really interesting story. It was very interesting, but they just did really dumb, rookie, just, why would you do this?
Yeah, just, like the execution wasn't there. So I feel like it's cool to like take the things that like all your ideas of like, damn, like I wish I could do that, like I could do this better, you know, and then all like almost like the pet peeves of making movies and like put them into.
And what really annoys me about Insidious is that wasn't it James Wan that did that?
Dude, I don't even remember that movie. That movie came out, I think, when I was in high school.
Like, I'm pretty sure it was James Wan. So it's like, I know James Wan can do amazing movies because I think he did Conjuring. He did a couple of the Fast and Furious movies. So he can make really great movies. It was just, Insidious became cheap, where it was just like, they were trying to, like in wrestling, we had there's a term called cheap heat, where you do something really just dumb, like in almost like MJF in AEW. They were in a place with Brian Pillman Jr.'s where he was from, and his mom was there, and he was like, "Your mom does meth." So of course you're not really doing anything like a wrestling wise to get heat. You're doing really grimy stuff to get heat, which in wrestling heat is when people boo at you. It's just so of course if you just called somebody's mom a meth head, of course they're gonna boo you. It's easy. It's easy. With Insidious, it was kind of that same way where it's like, again, if it's scary, you don't have to tell people it's scary. It just is. It's scary. That's like in It Follows. They didn't need to tell you. It was just there. Like they had it, like it was so subtle that it just gave you those chills where you're like, and I don't like it. It's like, it's so woo.
This is kind of random, but like as you're talking about this and you keep bringing up Insidious, I swear, I think the first time I watched that movie was with Brynn, like, when it came out. Because I'm thinking, I think
it was the one with Darth Maul as the villain. It was just like Darth. I'm gonna piss so many people off with this video. They're like, Insidious is a good movie though. I'm like, no, that was Darth Maul with hooves. Stop lying. That was like,
trash. Tell me what you think in the comments.
Like, but in reality, like, even that scene when they finally showed it, again, like I was telling you when we were talking about the first time, where they had the scene where they were talking at the table. Again, it's a genius scene. Genius. Where they're talking to his mom and they're, everything's good. They tune
going back and forth.
Yeah, and then right before it turns and the reveal of the monster behind him, they do a crackling sound. I'm like, why would you tell me there's a jump scare coming?
Right.
Like, what? And then they do the big music, and I'm like, that's why. Why would you do that?
And whenever, like, wherever you were, whenever you were watching it, you were like trash, and your friend was like, "Dude, stop!" I
got broken up for that. That is probably another reason I don't like the movie, because I got broken up when I took a girl to the movie theater to see it.
You have personal beef with the movie. That's why.
Because like she was sitting there crying. She was so scared. I'm laughing the whole time, laughing at the movie. I'm like, this movie is garbage. I look over, she's crying, and she's sitting there like, you're like, she's looking at me like I'm a psychopath. I'm like,
she probably thought you were, honestly.
Like, it's not scary. The ghost is dancing.
Honestly, like the only reason I will say like scary movies like freak me out, and I think part of it's because. Like the only reason I can watch them is because straight up, whenever I get like really scared from it, I'm like, okay, imagine if I was an actor in this movie and how weird it would be to be covered in blood and have to pretend like I'm dying. Like,
yeah.
I just have to like almost like separate myself from it and be like, okay, if I was on set, this would be wild. Like, you know what I mean? and
Like I
be
said,
like, this is
the scary
real.
movies that really like. What was one scary movie that really hit you like hard? Like
Honestly, I wouldn't even say like. Okay, well, actually, not. This isn't a scary movie, but this is. I think it was like. Oh, dang. It was. It was one of those like investigative. Dang, it wasn't Criminal Minds. It was something like older than that. I want to say it was like.
Matlock or something like that.
No, no, wait. Listen, what's the guy? What's the story with the main song where it's like who?
Oh, CSI.
CSI. Okay, I was like, it's not
Yeah.
Cold Case. Okay. So it was a CSI. Listen, and it was like a multi-episode thing about this one serial killer, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he was someone who was a contortionist. So
Oh
you know when
no!
you check your house,
Oh hell no!
when you're checking your house, and you're
Oh.
like, okay, I'm gonna check the spots that someone could be. I'm gonna check the closet. I'm gonna check under the bed. I'm gonna check in the shower. That's where they're gonna be. You know, he was in all the spots that you would never check. And that is what got me. He like there was someone going through, I think the scene that got me too was he put a hole in someone's ceiling that they had really high ceiling. She was like this rich, like older woman. And she didn't realize that he was watching her every single night with this little hole in the ceiling. And then one night he just like killed her in her sleep. And I was like, what? He was just
Hell
living
no.
up. And
that
then
reminds
the
me of
last
Gotham. I think there's a villain in Gotham that he was a contortionist, and he would fold up in like boxes and stuff like that. I'm like, what the hell? It's so creepy.
The way that he moved too was so unsettling.
Yeah.
Like it was so weird.
It was almost like the girl from Exorcism. Like just like the Exorcist.
Yeah.
Like
I'm like, no, it's just like unsettling to see that. And then the last thing that I'll tell you that really creeped me out is they were going through a car wash, and it was this lady and her son. He was like a little boy, and he was contortioned. I don't know how you say that, like up in where the spare tire would be in their car.
How do you?
And while they were in
my
the
thing
car
is, how do you ever
wash,
find out that you can do that?
Yeah, right. Like,
how do you like?
And then, like, not only like,
like
what are the odds that number one you can do that, and number two, then you just like decide to be a murderer? Like,
Yeah.
what are the odds? But that's what makes it so creepy.
That's how I feel about some people like in wrestling, where like there's a guy named Ray Phoenix on AEW that he does some like really crazy flips. That I'm like, how would you even? Why would you even try that to find out if you could do it?
Like you woke up
die.
one day.
Like, I would absolutely die. Like Ricochet on WWE, he literally does his finisher is a 630 senton, so he does like 3 flips in the air and then lands on the guy.
I'm not gonna lie, what is that? I don't know what that is.
Like, well, he does 3 flips in the air, then lands on the guy. Like off the turnbuckle, does 3 flips. I'm like, how do you find out you can do that?
Like
the contortionist thing that was you were talking about. It reminds me of the villain from Gotham.
Okay, which film? Are you talking about the Gotham that's on Netflix?
I think. Well, it's on Fox, but I think it's released on Netflix too. Afterward.
Oh, okay. Which villain?
It's. I forgot what the. Let me look it up because now it's gonna.
Okay. Yeah. Because I loved that show. Like I really did. I liked the original Selena Kyle, but I didn't like when they like changed her. And then I liked her when she was like young and like a punk. And then
Nathan,
I don't know, she got kind of weird as they tried to age her.
Alias Copperhead.
Oh.
Yeah. Larissa Diaz, also known as Copperhead, is an assassin who was sent to kill Dick Lovecraft and Selena Kyle.
Why can't I remember that? I've seen the whole thing, man.
Because I hate it. Because he would come out of the box and just do like creepy shit and like
Honestly, I probably fast forwarded because I'm like traumatized for that one
With
thing.
me, like I think the one scary movie that really screwed me up is It. And I'm not talking about the newest one. I'm talking about the old
one?
Yeah, Tim Curry.
I think I saw it when I was little, like little, which is messed up. But honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember it. I probably just like blocked it out. I watched Chucky when I was in like kindergarten too, and like objectively, Chucky is not freaky, but for a kindergartner, I was like, oh damn.
My cousin was horrified of Chucky, but me, I just always thought it was funny. Like Chucky, Nightmare on Elm Street, like it was always funny. I'm like, okay. I was never really a fan of slasher. I just never liked slasher.
Okay.
To me, I've always put like horror movies and slasher movies kind of in different categories.
Yeah.
Because like Chucky and Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream, like those aren't exactly scary. They're more of just like they're action movies with a horror theme.
Yeah.
At least to me.
And they tend to be like kind of campy, I feel like.
Yeah, like it's but with me, like horror, when I think of horror movies, I think of more like some kinda just because it's creepy. The Exorcist, Conjuring. I hate to say it, but Insidious maybe like it would be in the horror theme, but it's not really
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
Like the Stranger, um, like Children of the Corn, a lot of Stephen King stuff. The Shining.
Hey,
Like
what's that movie? It's called like The Silence of the Lamb. Isn't that where they put the red on the door or whatever? And they like live in this little town. Do you know what I'm
well, the
talking about?
Silence of the Lambs is with Hannibal Lecter.
Damn, that's not the one I'm talking
Yeah,
about then.
like I'm about to ruin that. Have you ever you've seen
Okay.
the first Fast and Furious, right?
No.
Oh, you haven't? How?
I
That's
know.
the real
Listen,
question.
you're such
Like
a movie buff though. You're such a
well,
movie
it's
buff
Fast and
though.
the Furious though.
I know.
It's Fast and the Furious though.
I
This isn't
know.
like an unknown movie.
I
It's
know.
Fast and the Furious.
Do you ever have that like list? Okay, listen. I do love watching movies, but I'm not like a movie buff. Like I'm not like trying to see every single movie ever, right? But I will say, like when people are like, "Oh, you should add that to your list." Like I swear I say every time that I'm going to add it to a list. And I'm like, I don't have a list.
Speaking of that, did you ever get a chance to watch any of the OC?
Oh, no, not yet.
Wow, because you
But I
said right
will.
when you got back from vacation, you were gonna start it.
Oh, stop!
You said right when I get back from
When do
vacation,
we
I'm gonna
film? When do we film? Oh my
the
gosh,
beginning
that's
of
so
September.
funny.
You're like right.
No, but I do have to watch that because you did say that
Yeah.
that's like it influenced it, and it's like one of the like more important movies or
Especially
things to
like
watch.
Brynn definitely is like required to watch it. She has because her character is based off of Marissa. Like absolutely,
And that's like the main character of that.
Yeah, like so that's a huge because of course I had like as again Brynn in the movie of course plays my partner and like my girlfriend, and I had to base that character off of my first celebrity crush. So because Misha Barton, I'm still in like I would freak the fuck out if I ever met Misha Barton.
That's like your famous person. Yeah. Okay. Also, I don't have a movie list, but while we're like quote live or filming, it says the OC in my notes.
Okay.
So that one I do have a list for, but that's about it.
Like, cause like there's cause like again that's my first, but like right now, like I think like Selena Gomez, I've always like I've always had like certain like celebrity crushes, but Misha Barton has always been on like top of the. Like Misha Barton is just because one of the greatest.
She's it for you.
One of the greatest parts of the OC, and it's not even spoiling any story or anything. But
okay, don't do it because I'm gonna watch it.
It's not spoiling any movie. I just thought it's the greatest joke of the entire show. But Seth Cohen ends up getting drunk and ends up throwing up. So of course he like the next morning he's hungover and trying to figure out what he did. And Ryan's like, "Yeah, you ended up throwing up everywhere." And he was like, "Wait, hold up. Was it Exorcist level like throwing up, or was it,
or just like kind of,
or was it the little girl from Sixth Sense throwing up?" And the funny part about that is the little girl from the Sixth Sense was Misha Barton,
who was also in that.
Yes,
that's so funny.
So he was that like breaking that fourth wall of just like if you know, you know,
getting, like meta up in there.
I just thought that was so funny. That's like
that actually is.
I love I love Adam Brody. I love he's actually married to have you ever seen Gossip Girl?
Yeah.
Negan Leeser?
Oh yeah, she played like she was like the wealthy friend of I guess they were all damn wealthy, but like it was like Blake Lively. Yeah, Blake Lively was best friends with her character, right?
Don't get me started on Blake Lively.
What about her?
It's just am I the only one who doesn't see how it's fair that her and Ryan Reynolds are together? That's just too. It's too. It's too much. It's too much.
It's too perfect.
It's
It's
like,
too perfect.
what else
No,
can you do?
I
What
do.
else?
I love her.
What
Like,
else do you want? What else do you need? Like what? Like,
yeah,
just, like really?
she's like, yeah, no. I
Ryan
like
Reynolds,
wanted to be here
Ryan
when I
Reynolds
watched
pisses me
Gossip
off. I
Girl.
love Ryan Reynolds and I'm obsessed with Ryan Reynolds, but he kind of pisses me off
Why?
because he can act, he can sing, he's funny, he's
Oh,
beautiful.
okay.
Like I'm like, okay,
I
dude,
wasn't sure if you
what
were
else
like,
do you
oh,
want?
something about him. Okay,
Like
yeah, no,
it's
like
one of
he's
those things. Like
perfect.
what else? Have you
Yeah.
like he was on it, like I saw like a TikTok that he did, and he was pitch perfect. Yeah, he went from like low all the way to high. I'm like, no,
Like
no.
literally music train, and you're like, how?
I'm like, no,
How?
no, no.
Yeah,
You're not. That's not fair. Okay, that's not
that's
really.
wild.
Did you just have to be like that? Like really? And you're Deadpool? Really, dude? Like what else do you want? Like what else? Like just
And he's like everything. I want it
yeah.
all.
Like I'm a straight man, but if Ryan Reynolds showed up today and said I want to marry you, I'm like, okay, let's just go.
I feel the same way about Blake Lively, so we have that
Yeah.
couple covered. Like I,
Like I would yes. Like yeah. Like I love Ryan Reynolds. I think him as Deadpool is like the perfect role. Like there's never been a role perfectly made for somebody other than Ryan Reynolds Deadpool. Because it just seems like they're the real people. Like they're the same people.
how do you feel about Jason Bateman?
It depends on which role. It just like
That's true. Wait, have you seen Ozarks?
not
Or
yet.
Ozark?
Not yet.
I don't know if you like that kind of show because I don't know like exactly what kind of like episodic stuff you watch, but it's a real good show. I mean, have you seen what's it called? Breaking Bad?
No. I tried to watch a little bit of it, and I was just like,
Yeah, no, honestly, I wasn't really about that show. The only thing that reminds me of that show in Ozarks is kind of like he's dealing with like some sort of cartel or like meth dealing, right?
I
So
was
it's
gonna say
almost like
something else about something
there's
else
just
from
no, there's
AMC,
just always something
but
like
I don't want to
you
get
just
canceled. I don't want to get canceled
don't get canceled. Don't get canceled.
because I believe if I talked about one TV show, everyone would just instantly hate me.
Okay, well now you have to say it. So you have to cancel yourself. Okay.
I was not a big. Okay, wait. Actually, let me
What if I don't even know what you're talking about? But I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
let me specify. I
Okay.
believe the show was good. I just think it went too far. It went too long. And I'm talking about The Walking Dead. The issue is, I believe the show is dead. They just keep going and trying to beat the dead horse. Okay.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't even seen that show, and from just what I've heard from people, it just lasts forever. Everybody's
Yeah,
watching it
it just
just
keeps
forever.
going.
I'm like, there is no way that the post-apocalyptic thing can just last forever. Like you
Not
either die
only
or
that,
you
but the
don't. Like
issue
it's gotta
is that at this point the zombies are not even scared. They're just a nuisance. I was watching one scene where there's a couple and they're having a picnic. Why the hell would you be having a picnic during the apocalypse? I have no idea.
Right.
That's the question I have. B, zombies are coming behind them. Okay, cool. Two people see the zombies about to kill the couple, so they kill the zombies. The couple gets mad at the people killing the zombies because they ruined their date. I'm like, excuse me?
When it's like when the writers are running out of ideas and they're like, okay, we gotta fill out an hour.
Like,
What could we
get
do?
to the point where you're just like, yeah. Like my thing is after Glenn died, and my thing is Negan. I love Negan. Okay, let me clarify. I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I like Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Negan was great. It's one of those shows where, again, like even Negan, he gets introduced by bashing a dude's head in with a bat in front of his pregnant wife. And they stop trying to kill him. I'm like, excuse me? If you beat my wife or my husband in front of me to the point his brain is exploding out of his head, I'm gonna hunt you until the end of the earth, okay, motherfucker? Like, and we don't have any costs because it's post-apocalyptic. Oh yeah, I'm hunting you until you die or we both die. One of the other. Like, just one of us is gonna die in this situation, sir.
Right.
And then they're like, yeah, we're just gonna team up. I'm like, excuse me? Like, what? What? Okay. My thing is like after a certain point is just like Supernatural. I love Supernatural, one of my favorite shows. The way they did it was they said, we have plenty of ideas. We have plenty of ideas to keep going, but we want to leave the show with people still wanting more. You don't want to end your show with people saying, okay, it's time to go. You want to leave it off where people still want.
You want to leave them like, damn, it just ended. Yeah.
The Walking Dead, yes, I understand. AMC doesn't have a lot of things working at once. Because plus, if you also have to think about it, they're working on like 4 different shows. They're working on The Walking Dead, Beyond The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah, I feel like it just got messy. It's almost like, when businesses like it's doing well, so they like, when businesses like are doing well and they just like expand to like a million things, and then like, wait, what? And then they all are just horrible because like I'm like, wait,
exactly. It just gets to a point where they're just pushing out content and they're not exactly trying to
make it quality or like
in reality they could have brought those characters from these other shows and brought them into one show and made that one show really good instead of trying to expand and trying to
into a bunch of other things. And then I guess money will do that to you though.
On 2 shows with Rick, then they're trying to work on another show with Daryl and one of the other characters. I'm like, okay, and y'all haven't brought Clementine from the games in. I'm still pissed off about that. Okay, y'all can't bring in Clementine, really?
I know this is random, but I had an acting teacher who lived in Georgia for a while, and she worked on like I think it was the Walking Dead set or like museum or something, but I think it was the Walking Dead set, and she did like tours and stuff. Yeah. So she like sometimes got to meet the character or like the actors and stuff, and like was all up in the set giving tours, which I thought was real cool. Like, and she's also a working actor, and like she's an acting coach as well. But I think that's a really cool side gig that she had going.
Because that really threw me off with the whole messing up the. Are there certain places that like you would want, like if we had like an unlimited budget and there was like a specific convention or something that you would want to go, where would it be? Like for like the tour.
Honestly, I would have to think about that. And I would honestly want to like look up which ones get a lot of like exposure and stuff, because I think just the more exposure the better, obviously, but no, I don't have any in mind.
Because I think again, I want to go to TwitchCon, but like I was telling Brynn, odds are not everybody's going to be able to go because trying to get everybody to San Diego.
Yeah, that's the one you mentioned. Yeah, and you said that one does get a lot of exposure.
Well, not only that, but again, like I said, we're streaming this on Twitch. Going to TwitchCon makes just sense. And I would love to go to Insomnia, which is a gaming convention in England every year. That would be cool because again, I've never traveled. I haven't done a lot of traveling either. So it's like,
why not? Yeah.
So it's like I'm using this as an excuse. Which again, you shouldn't need an excuse to travel, but like me,
I feel like
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I can't even play any video games anymore unless I'm streaming. I'm in that mode of just like if I'm doing something, I need to do it productive. Like if I'm playing a game, I need to. Why aren't I streaming? Like if I'm gonna play the game anyway, why shouldn't I be streaming? Like that's just how it is. So if like even when I'm planning out my birthday, like when I go to Vegas, this month.
When's your birthday? When are you?
Well, my birthday is on the 17th, but I'm going to Vegas. Yeah. And then I'm going to Vegas from the 24th through the 31st.
That'll be so fun. Have you ever been?
No.
Okay. I've like stopped in and like seen a casino, but that's about it.
I grew up in Tunica, so casinos, I'm comfortable with casinos, but
but like
Tunica and Vegas are 2 different things. Like
yeah.
Like the hotel I'm staying at, I'm staying at the Palms for the week. It has first it has a bar that has a shark right in the middle of it. I'm like, excuse me? Like a great white shark just chilling. I'm like, okay, that's weird. There's a movie theater in the hotel.
You accidentally said awesome incorrectly.
Like that's Southern accent.
That is awesome.
That's that Southern accent there. But again, it's like there's a movie theater. There's like 4 or 5 restaurants. There's like a shopping center. that has Starbucks, McDonald's, Nathan's Hot Dogs, all this other
That's
stuff,
so
just
cool.
all in one hotel. I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah.
Like, it's,
There's like everything you could think of just right there.
and
That'll be
then
real fun.
and then
Happy
my
early
room
birthday.
has a damn kitchen. I was like, what the? Like, just okay, great.
That's wild.
And I'm getting like the cheaper ones, like the one they actually have a room that has an elevator in the room. It's a 2-story room with a
I mean,
basketball
I
court,
get why people do like bachelor parties and stuff there too, just because
but
it's
the
like
room has a basketball court. Why do you need that? Like that's a
like
rich.
basketball, Nathan.
But that's some rich people stuff. Where it's like,
Yeah,
what are you
it
doing?
really is.
Like, what are you doing? Like, just
It's
you have
true.
too
It's
much
so
money when you have the pool. They literally have in that same room. They have a what was it? Infinity pool in the room.
okay, that would be fun. Because I've never swam in an infinity pool.
Like I'm like, okay. It's just like,
You're like, oh, okay.
yep. Like
All right.
I don't have that kind of money, but yeah.
That'll be
But
so fun though.
I am going to be renting a big ass house when y'all come to Memphis. I can't really tell too much about it because I don't want anybody to know what it is. But it is the house that Elvis bought his doctor.
Elvis, what now? Oh, bought his doctor?
Yeah. See, that's some rich people stuff when you buy your doctor a house.
No, that really is. I was like, when you said that, I was like, wait, no, he can't be saying that, but you are saying that.
He
That
straight
is
up
not
bought his
his doctor.
Well, okay, here's the thing. I'm not okay. Look, and before anybody gets pissed off at me about saying this, I am a huge Elvis fan, so I'm not talking shit about him. I'm just stating fact. Okay.
I feel like you're about to talk shit about Elvis. That's how I feel.
The doctor was probably the one that was giving a pill at the end of the ending
I'm
stage
sure.
of his, yeah. So everybody knows at this point Elvis had some because Elvis had trouble sleeping, so he was taking pills to help him sleep. But those pills, he was taking too many of them, like a lot of them, and that's what just gave him a lot of health issues. I'm not talking shit about Elvis because with Memphis, that's a touchy subject. Like even in my
funny.
family,
I was
that's
like, I feel like people won't be mad, but that makes sense. Yeah.
My thing is, I hate when people say he was a drug addict. My thing is, when you live a lifestyle like Elvis, even tell me, like, I have insomnia really bad. Like, I have really bad insomnia. I go to bed at like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. So it's just, I get that. So of course, like some people smoke weed, some people drink, some people it's just like certain people. It's really hard to just turn their brain off and go to sleep. But when you are traveling as much as Elvis, where you're going to Vegas, you're nonstop. I can understand why you would need to take pills, but then
you take a bunch of downers to go to sleep, and then you have to perform again. So you have to take uppers because you're like so tired.
That downward spiral where it's just
like, I mean, especially that time with famous people. I mean, I'm sure even now, but like,
but it's a nuts. Like, it has a bar in the house.
That's so cool.
I'm like, yes, and it has a pool.
And it has
just like sold. Like it's sold.
Literally sold. Yeah.
So like so of course we're gonna have the big premiere, which like I've already said, we're gonna have a red carpet event, then we're gonna have the event before it with drinks. And I was talking to the woman. I think it would be really cool to talk to, because I went to bartending school, so I know a little bit about bartending. So I think it would be really cool to get the bartender to make specific drinks for all of us.
Like kind of themes too. Yeah.
So
that would be cool.
Because each of us would pick our own drink. Because again, 6 drinks, that's pretty good beverage menu. Well, actually, wait, that's 7, right?
Yeah, I've seen that done at weddings too, which is cool. Like the bride and groom, like there'll be like an open bar, but the bride and groom will choose like kind of their favorite drink of the night, and you can order like the bride or groom drink, which is kind of cool.
I just think that it only sucks because Bruno probably won't be able to come. I'm gonna have to set up like a webcam or something for him to it's just
to zoom in.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's like very of the times though,
It's like because of course you probably want to, but it's like trying to get him to come from Argentina to all these events. That's just that's difficult. Like
improbable.
So especially for like weeks, like some of these, like Delta Fair is 9 days.
Yeah.
And then with work visas and all these other things, it
becomes
a real issue. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm pumped to start filming.
Yep, same.
It's gonna be good.
I'm still trying to work on the script. Script, like again, it's not really an issue of writing it. It's just the issue of trying to find time to.
Mm.
Because now we just switched over to closing at like 12 and 1 o'clock at night. So now I'm not getting home until 1:30 to 2:30 in the morning. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'll literally be at work trying to write some of the script. Like, shut up, leave me alone. Just deal with it yourselves, dude. just customers pissed off. I don't care. Just tell them to
You're like,
go
I'm
home.
busy.
But what what games have you do you play? Since this is kind of game related, horror related too. We've talked a lot about
Yeah,
horror
we've
movies.
talked. So I told you, I was like, listen, like I'm not a gamer, so this will be cool for me to like learn about and stuff, but I'm not somebody who like is familiar with all this, you know what I mean? So I'll obviously have to get familiar with like
Running out.
some of this stuff, you know? And between you and Brynn too, I feel like you guys know a lot about that stuff. But I will say, this isn't very like gamery of me, but like I love the GameCube. Like that's like what I grew up on, and then I would always play
GameCube's
Super
pretty
Mario.
cool though. It depends on
Yeah.
like yeah, like I think a lot of us grew up. Me on the other hand, I'm old, so my first game system was Coleco. Yeah, you probably don't know what it is because
I actually
a lot
don't,
of
yeah.
people don't know what it is because it
I
was
don't
one of
even
those
know if I
things
would
with the
recognize
joystick.
it.
You like it was like a little joystick and it had like pixels. I'm old. I'm not
No
really that
way.
old. I'm 25, but I grew
That
up
was
old.
I was
Like,
25. There's no way.
yeah, I'm
But you
20.
know what though? When I started playing like on the GameCube, I
Yeah.
was already like 10 or something. So I bet if I started playing younger, maybe there'd be something else, you know?
But
But I played Super Mario Sunshine all the time on there, and that was like my game.
because I'm gonna be like growing up, I loved horror games. I loved horror games and wrestling games.
That makes sense.
One of my
Checks out.
favorite games ever is Silent Hill 4: The Room, and it's so creepy, so just like because you start off stuck in a room that the doors locked out, and again, it's not exactly horrifying. It's just psychological. Like you almost start thinking you're going crazy while playing the damn game. It's just so just.
That's creepy.
I want to find it. It's so hard to find. Like I found it on eBay for like $300 because
Really?
it's so rare. Like it's
Yeah.
such a good game to it. Everybody knows it's a good game. That's the problem. Like
Yeah.
it's so hard to find, and everybody knows it's a good game. It's gonna be expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I want to get it. Uh, do a walkthrough on the channel. I think that would be awesome. I already did a Scarface walkthrough. I thought that's another game I loved was Scarface. That's one of my favorite movies. Because I literally like whenever y'all come down, I'm gonna show you. I like why when you walk into my house, I have 3 movie posters in my living room: Goodfellas, Godfather, and Scarface. Those are 3 movies I am obsessed with. I've always been like, if you don't like at least one of those movies, we can't. Like, we just
Like
can't.
it's not gonna work.
Because if you don't like Godfather, at least respect. If you don't at least respect the Godfather, you don't like. Because it's such a masterpiece. It's just one of those movies that's so. It's Al Pacino, bro. Like it's Al Pacino, Marlon Brando, Robert Duvall. Like you have this star-studded cast where it's like, how not?
Yeah, it's
Like
a class.
it's even people that haven't seen Godfather know Godfather. Like
Mm-hmm.
it just everybody has seen something of Godfather. Just like Scarface. Everybody knows who Tony Montana is, even if you haven't watched the damn movie.
Mm-hmm.
Goodfellas on the hand, it's a good movie, but it's not my favorite. Like it's not it's up there, but not because Marlon Brando, look, I like Marlon Brando, but he likes to change some facts. They're not exactly which I can't wait because when I go to Vegas, I'm actually going to the Mob Museum. I'm really excited for that.
That'll be
Um
cool.
well speaking of traveling, what is like your favorite what is your favorite place to travel?
Um, I would say, oh, interesting. Well, I loved St. Thomas. It's one of the Virgin Islands. It's a U.S. Virgin Island, and that was probably my favorite vacation that I ever went on. It was just really beautiful, and I love the
Where did you
I
just
love the
go?
beach. What'd you say?
Where did you just go on vacation?
I went to Southern Illinois.
Oh,
It was like Eddiesville, and it
'cause I
was
saw some of the pictures on Instagram. I was like, "Where's that?" Like,
yeah. I went camping.
that's in
So it's
Illinois?
yeah.
That doesn't seem like a place that would be in Illinois.
Yeah, I know, right? It's a
Probably
huge
because when
wilderness
you think of
area.
Illinois, you think of Chicago.
Yeah, and you also think of like cornfields and stuff, but there's like it's a
I
huge
wouldn't even think about
wilderness
that.
area. It's a huge wilderness area, and you can camp kind of like wherever in it. It's
Huh.
whatever you pack in, you pack out. There's no like trash cans or like bathrooms or anything, so you kind of just like are up in the wilderness, and that was real cool. I didn't know about it, but my boyfriend has camped there. Him and his buddy have camped there for like years. Like I'm talking like probably like 10 years plus. Well, his buddy has camped there since he was like little and gone there and stuff. So that's how I found out about it. But it was really fun.
Okay, since I've said a lot of like controversial things, like it's time for you to say. Like, it's time for you.
What have
Chicago.
you said that was
No,
controversial though?
well, like with The Walking Dead, people like that's a fan. That's Walking Dead.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I haven't met a but like I mean, I've met people that aren't fans of it. You know what I mean? Okay,
yeah.
I guess I'll try to think of my controversial opinions.
No, I already know. Chicago deep dish or New York.
Oh, well, to be honest, I haven't. Wait. Chicago deep dish,
Why though? It's not even a pizza. It's a casserole.
but I'm about it.
Listen,
Period. like,
one
I
thing
mean,
that really
you could argue if it's pizza or not, but if you're talking about like Chicago deep dish or like New York pizza, whether or not it's a casserole, I'm about it.
I like
That's the
I like the
answer.
foldable. Like I like the big slice foldable pizza.
I
Oh, it's
actually
just
do
so.
that. Okay, okay, here's a guilty pleasure. It's kind of like it's not actually controversial, but like
Yeah.
I just feel like it is. You know, Sparrow?
I haven't. No, we don't have that in Memphis.
Here's the thing. I'm a big fan. Like I just like I
I am a
I
snob
think
for
it's
pizza. I'm a snob.
then maybe you wouldn't think it's great. You know what I like though? I do like when they
Trust me,
have
I will buy you my favorite pizza in Memphis. It is just straight up shout out. If you're ever in Memphis, buy it. It's called Mola's Pizza. I literally
I,
I get it
I
at work all the time. It's for 2 pizzas. I will spend $80-something.
it's like designer pizza. Honestly, if
No, it's
you're a
just
pizza
big. It's
snob,
just
I definitely want to try your favorite pizza. So I'll take you up on
it's
that.
so big. It's not even designer. It's just huge.
Oh, okay.
They're like I think 20-inch pizzas and they're huge.
I forgot like what oh man, I forgot what I think it might be like Papa Nino's or something. Oh man, I can't remember. But it was this place in Chicago, in like West. Yeah, I don't know. It was like West Loop, I think.
I need to
But it
upgrade.
had stadium pizzas. They called it the stadium pizza, and it was like huge. Like you know when you like have a party and you have to get like 6 pizzas because they just like fly off. No, this
It
thing
won't let me upgrade a pro. Like, I'm sorry.
you needed like you need like a huge table for it. It was awesome.
Why won't you let me upgrade a pro, jackass? Because it says 2 minutes remaining on Skype. This is one. I mean Zoom.
Oh,
That's one thing I hate
well,
about Zoom.
don't you have to interview that girl anyways? And we were
Yeah,
going for free anyways, so it might
yeah.
work out anyways.
It just annoys me that they try to shut people up. I'm like, look,
I know.
let me talk. Okay, like just
Like,
that's the
listen,
whole
I got
point
a
of
lot
you.
to say.
That's literally the whole point of you is to let me use
Say
the
my
damn
piece.
service. Okay, do not shut me up. Like, just
And Zoom is like you're cut off.
yeah, just like no, you're
They're
done.
like you're done.
But
That's funny. Well, this has
yeah.
been really fun, honestly.
Also like don't forget to send me the links. I'll put that in the description.
I will.
If you're watching this on Twitch, again, stay tuned. Later on, we will be interviewing Dahlia J. She's gonna be one of a huge character in the movie. Also tomorrow will be, as she was talking about, Brynn Beveridge. Yeah, is that how you say her name?
Yeah.
I'm really
Yeah.
bad at
No,
I
it's
read
okay.
it. It's just like I'm
No,
so
it's
bad.
honestly like she's always like, yeah, it's Beveridge, like,
Okay.
a
Like, it's
cold
just
beverage.
like I'm just so bad with like it's especially like certain people like it's spelt one way and said another thing. I'm just like
Yeah,
just
I
like
feel that.
that
And I
how it
feel like
is.
everybody's understanding, especially last names. They're tricky.
And then we will be going. We'll also be interviewing. Um, Leilanys. Yeah, she'll say her name.
Yeah,
She's
we'll
like,
find out then, right?
but she, again, I'm gonna have to send you the link to her TikTok. She is hilarious, like hilarious.
I want to see it.
Her
I'm also
TikToks
like,
are awesome. I'm like sold.
okay,
Like it's
okay.
just, but she is gonna be playing Lilith.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to send in the group chat like the pictures that she's done with like makeup. I'm like, oh my god, it's so creepy. I love it. Like it's
Yeah.
because it's crazy that again she's almost like a glamour girl, but she's hilarious and she does the horror stuff. And it's just like it's kind of
It's
like Ryan Reynolds. Like, how do you do so much? Like, just like
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was awesome talking to you.
Yeah.
Again, hopefully, one of these days we'll be doing streams. I'm gonna try to get you into gaming, some games at least. Again, it's just so you know that, you know, well, we were. Zoom hates me. Zoom, Zoom. It literally just shut off the whole Zoom. Okay, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, all the other good stuff. Make sure to tune in later for Dahlia, and I will see you beautiful people in the next one. See you.